Good afternoon, my dear students. I am Dr. Deepak More, Assistant Professor of English, Sanjivani Mahavidyalaya Chapoli. Today we are going to study about the poem. The name of the poem is My Mistress' Eyes Are Nothing Like the Sun, written by William Shakespeare. About William Shakespeare. William Shakespeare, who was born in 1564 and he was dead in 1616, is regarded by the world as the greatest English poet and dramatist. He was an actor and a stockholder of the drama company in London. There are 37 plays and 154 sonnets and a few different poems to his credit. Of all the English writers, Shakespeare has the highest recognition because his writings have a universal appeal. He dealt with a variety of themes and subjects in his plays, that is, comedies, tragedies, tragic comedies, and historical plays, as well as poems. He was born in a rural area and his native place is Stratford upon Avon, and later came to London as a common man in 1588 to start his career as an actor. He lived and worked in London from that time to 1612. Hamlet, Macbeth, Othello, and King Lear are his well known plays and world famous tragedies. During this time, he achieved great fame as a dramatist and poet. He is entitled as the national poet of England, and his literature has been translated in almost all the languages which are existed in the world. Then about the poem, this this poem, My Mistress' Eyes Are Nothing Like the Sun, is one of the most popular sonnets uh, out of 154 sonnets written by William Shakespeare. The sonnets of Shakespeare were first published in 1609, apparently without the author's permission. They do not have titles and they are usually known by the numbers given to them or by their first lines. These sonnets are addressed to a fair youth, dark lady, and rival poets. The present sonnet, My Mistress' Eyes Are Nothing Like the Sun, is about the dark lady who is an unknown person but considered by Shakespeare as his beloved or as his lover. During those times, it was customary to write poems in the praise of one's beloved. Most of the poets compared their beloved to numerous beautiful things in nature. In this poem, William Shakespeare ridicules such love poems. The form of a sonnet or a poem in 14 lines is the most suitable for making short comments. This sonnet is superior in its technique and mode of expression. Shakespeare's sonnets are known as the Shakespearean sonnets or the English sonnets in the history of English literature. Though he followed the general style of the traditional sonnet, he introduced new themes in his sonnets. These are written in three quatrains, four line stanza, and a couplet, a pair of lines with the rhyme scheme of AB AB, CD CD, EF EF, and GG. Then, about the poem, My Mistress' Eyes Are Nothing Like the Sun. This poem contains 14 lines and divided into four small stanzas. First, second, and third stanza having four lines, and last one having two lines only. Then, in the first stanza of the poem, the poet addresses to the audience that my, my mistress' eyes are nothing like the sun. Coral is far more red than her lips red. If snow be white, why then her breasts are dun? If hairs be wires, black wires grow on her hand. Then, in the first stanza of the poem, the poet compares his beloved's eyes with the sun. He says that her eyes are not at all like the sun. They are not bright as the sun. They are not beautiful as the sun. Here we find the poet's sincereness to admit that his beloved was not so much beautiful, but his beloved is beautiful enough. In the next line, the poet presents description of his beloved in exactly opposite manner to the tradition. He mocks the traditional sonneters who praise their beloved in such a decorative manner that very often it appears to be artificial. He does not need to be compared her with such other beautiful objects. Usually, a lady was loved for her physical appearance, and some traditional sonneters pretend that his beloved have execute beauty, heavenly qualities also. But the poet is exactly opposite of the other's poets. The reader becomes familiar about it and the use of humor in the next line. In the next line, the poet says, Coral is far more red than her lips red. Here, coral means a red colored precious stone, and coral is far more red than her lips red. That is why the poet used the word coral, which means red colored precious gem, to compare with her lips, which are not as red as the coral. He says that the coral is far redder than her lips. His beloved's lips are pale and not red. In the next line, the poet compares her breast, that is skin, with the snow, which is white in color. Here, the speaker presents a contradiction by saying that her breasts or her skin are of dull brownish color also. It may be dun also. Here, here is cleared out the fact that his mistress is dark in color means she is not fair. In the next lines, the poet compares his beloved's hair with black wires. He suggests that his beloved's hair was not so soft, not so shiny, or not so beautiful. It might be looks like the black wires which grown on her head. There is a further shock for the reader because the poet sincerely admits that his beloved does not possess exquisite beauty or heavenly beauty also. Then, in the second stanza of the poem, the poet addresses to the reader that I have seen roses damasked. Damask means pink red colored rose, red and white. But no such rose sees I in her cheeks. And in some perfumes is there more delight than in the breath that from my mistress reeks. Reeks means smell strongly. In the second stanza of the poem, the poet continues in the description and comparison also. In the next line, the poet compares his beloved cheeks with the roses. Here, the poet used the word damasked, which means pink or pale red colored rose. He says that normally the rose flower comes in different colors like white, red, pink, pale red, etc. But unfortunately, the lover can not see such roses in the cheeks of his beloved. It means that, as like the roses which are soft and fresh, he cannot find such a freshness or her on her cheeks. Her cheeks cannot be like roses. In the next line, the poet used the contrast or opposite statement, as like the traditional sonnet would describe the breath of the mistress to be a smell sweeter than all the perfumes, but here the poet used an opposite statement also. Some perfumes are more delightful that he breathes or smell. Here, the poet used the word delight, which generally means happiness or joy, but in this content, the word delight is used for a fragrance, means small piece. He says that as like the perfumes which ever given gives a beautiful fragrance to the soul, which gives happiness to the soul, but his mistress Rix doesn't give it. Here, the word reeks means unpleasant smell. He means to say that his beloved breath doesn't give pleasant smell like the perfume. Then, in the third stanza of the poem, the poet addresses that I love to hear her speak, yet well I know that music hath a far more pleasing sound. I grant I never saw a goddess go, my mistress when she walk treads on the ground. In the third stanza of the poem, the poet addresses to the audience that the poet uh, speaks to the tradition in which a lady was often compared to a goddess. He says that he has never seen a goddess walking by. His beloved is a human being and she walks on earth, not in the sky like a goddess. Because his beloved is a human being, common human being also. Now, to make the final statement, the speaker says that though his beloved his beloved cannot be compared with the beauty of nature. The speaker's love for his beloved is very precious, is very valuable, or is very rare also. In the final couplet of the poem, the poet tells us that, and yet by heaven, I think my love as rare as any she belied with a false compare. Means, belied means falsely portrayed. In the final couplet of the poem, the poet declares that the comparison of his beloved with the heavenly object is not important. When the poet says, and yet by heaven I think my love as rare as any she belied with a false compare. Here, the word rare means remarkable. He know that his love is remarkable. In the next line, the poet used the word belied, which means falsely portrayed or falsely described. Here, the poet confesses that his beloved is beautiful, though she may not look extraordinarily beautiful. He confessed that his love is remarkable, though he give a wrong impression of her. He admits that his beloved does not possess exquisite beauty of heavenly qualities. That is why she does not need to be falsely compared with other beautiful objects or with other beautiful natural objects. In this way, such a non traditional view is presented by the poet in a very skillful manner in the present sonnet. He asked a question through the poem whether a person should be loved for his or her physical appearance. What should be really valued? Should true love give importance to the physically attractive aspect? And the answer is that the true love doesn't give any importance to the physical appearance or physical beauty. Thank you.